Hey guys, this is Vladimir reporting from El Ocotal. I don't even know what the name means in Spanish. I looked it up once. I'll have to tell you later, okay? I know it's probably really dark, but then I am a dark, shady character. I just want to share some realizations with you. Not necessarily any particular topic, but I'll ramble on for about 5 to 10 minutes because then I'm still hoping to do another lap or loop, and I beg your pardon for being so indecently dressed for a professional clip and channel, but I'm here running in my favorite place in the world at about 2900 altitude, and that's actually my first realization. You know, I ran 2-3 days ago at a lower altitude and I was spent. Well, one, I wasn't accustomed to it, so number one, whatever the ambience, whatever the style of interpreting or translation, a warm-up is always good. I did a few 100-meter repeats with an Olympic runner in a park 2 days ago, and I was done for. But anyway, so acclimatization is good, but also sometimes what seems logical isn't logical. Like I was spent 2 or 3 days ago, and here I'm at a higher altitude, almost 3,000. So it's almost maybe a kilometer higher than Mexico City itself. And I'm not spent just because of the air, because of the environment. Honestly, it feels like an elvish forest. It's the most magical place in the world. So sometimes what is supposed to be isn't exactly the way it works. And that's another maybe realization, cognition, whatever that we could bring into translation or interpreting. Like what seems harder is not always harder, but also what inspires you and thrills you is a valid factor, and it doesn't even matter why it works. Slightly switching gears or completely switching topics, but I remember for this dude, I'm interpreting for this dude Vladimir, also Vladimir. He was really stubborn, almost as stubborn as me, and he told me, you know, Vladimir, I do really well in my negotiations when you wear a white shirt. I was like, what? Dude, let me pick whatever color shirt I wear. But then when he asked politely, I actually did. And why am I even telling you this story? Because sometimes people analyze and overanalyze to the infinite degree about why something works. But sometimes it doesn't matter why something works as long as it works. If you notice that you do your best interpretation jobs when you're wearing a blue suit or your favorite high heels, or when you do your best translation job when you're sipping on latte or a cappuccino, well then by all means keep on doing it, right? Sometimes it doesn't even matter. Okay, I'm going to turn around and probably do a couple more laps here because it's getting really dark. About the Olympic runner, he's obviously much faster than me, but I was able to keep up with him for 200-meter repeats, almost the third one, and not at all on the fourth because of my technique. But I didn't have the conditioning that he has, and by conditioning I mean cardiovascular and also maybe muscular. So what does that tell me? Or tell us that both things are equally important. Technique in interpreting or in anything is amazingly vital, but also conditioning. And in interpreting and translation, the conditioning would be your knowledge of the language, at least that's my metaphor, your vocabulary, your command of, you know, all aspects of the language, and your technique, well, that's your technique. Like in Spanish, my conditioning, quote unquote, is not as good as in Russian or English, but my technique is obviously still good, and that is why I'm sometimes better than natives. Not all. Like, for example, if a native speaker has impeccable technique and the conditioning, they would be better than me. So both of those are important. And also, I guess last story, anecdote, my phone was stolen yesterday, so I'm recording this off a new phone because I left it in a park, El Bosque de Chapultepec in Mexico City. And that was mighty stupid of me. I was like, well, who's going to steal a phone from the bushes? You know, especially since it's dark, especially since, you know, it's runners. But somebody did. They must have seen me. They did leave the keys. What a kind thief. So take context into account. You know, in some places it's totally safe to leave stuff, like in the US 20 years ago, maybe in Minnesota, not today. But today I'm running here in this magical forest, and stupidly I left my bag there again because this forest is really only frequented by runners, and plus it's really rainy, plus it's really dark, so I'm not worried. Anyway, that's probably the end of my rambling for today, and I'm gonna go run another 2 loops or laps Wish me luck.